Hello, my friends. Hello, my life warriors, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the Day In, Day Out podcast. Woo! Today on episode 125, I had the immense privilege and I was happy to have Tequila Cousar on the podcast. She is a certified life coach, strategic business planner, serial entrepreneur, and speaker. We talked about a number of different topics, from basically her strategic business planning, some of the people she's actually helped come up with a strategic business plan, as well as, the businesses she's helped start up over the years for herself, and what she might think some of the things people need to do to sort of stand out for the upcoming year. So please sit back, enjoy the podcast, and please subscribe. It'll be much appreciated. Have a great day, guys, and enjoy the show. Yeah. Hello, my friends. Hello, my life warriors, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the Day In, Day Out podcast. Woo! Today on episode 125, I have Tequila Cousar on the podcast today. Yes, I got the name right. Thank the Lord. Praise Jesus. Yes, she is a certified life coach, a strategic business planner, a serial entrepreneur, and a speaker too. And you know what? And like in my research, I found out she knows how to use dental floss in unique ways as well. Yeah.
I'm a dental hygienist too.
Yeah, all I've got to say is yes. How are you today, my lady?
I am doing amazing. It's a beautiful morning. It's a beautiful morning.
You know what? Like here in the UK, it's a beautiful afternoon as well. For once, I think on both sides of the Atlantic, we are like sharing good weather. Yeah, look, all I've got to say is, yeah, like winter over here, look, let me be honest. When I bitch and complain about winter over here, like in like compared to American winter, it ain't jack. It's like
Zero, I'm sure.
like, yeah, that's like yeah, that's where yeah, it's zero. It's a little bit frosty. Like there's about 2 centimeters of snow. It's like yeah, and like just like that's just ruined my day. In comparison to America, yeah, and you're in Ohio, right? That is known
I'm
for
in
snow.
Ohio.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Ugh.
so I won't complain in front of you, going, we had such a bad winter. uh,
Right.
yes. Uh, like there's a thing. I am glad to have you on today. Like, yeah, it's like one of those things where you go, okay, like right now with how can I say the light being at the end of the tunnel of 2020, 2021, like hope like this the road to recovery. Like, yeah, with
Yeah.
all what's gone on, like, yeah, have you found there's been more of a need for your sort of services, like a need for like you're getting much more sort of an uptake uh, across your social media with regards to what you do with being a life coach yourself?
Mhm. Yes. And you know why that is? It's because of so much going on inside of people's home.
Mhm.
People have lost their jobs, and people have really lost their minds. If you think about it, because the COVID has freaked people out.
Mm,
Like it has freaked people out, and not to consider, a lot of families, a lot of people who were head of their households lost their job.
mm,
So, when they come to me, it's kind of like, hey, I'm not losing my mind, but I need new goals.
yeah.
I need a new sense of purpose, but I don't know what I need to do. I've been at my job for all of these years, so I don't know what's next. So, that's what people come to me for. They are looking for that next thing that is intoxicating. I say that makes them happy, that, they're passionate about, and they want to move, to the next level in their life.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of women, because now most of them are home with their kids.
Yes, let's just say the little ones over here, all kids have gone back to school yesterday. All I've got to say is, like, there was most probably, like, my lady's sister, she was like, yeah, I'm gonna put on a bath in the afternoon. There was like this realm of rejoicing. I won't actually go into it, but it was like, you're off, back to school you go. It's like little hand party going up. But I understand where you're coming from. Yeah, there's a lot more sort of course correction going on in the world with regards to what people want. Well, basically change force upon them, but also getting that also a change of perspective as well, if you get what I mean. Yeah,
Mm.
like with regards to that, I don't know if there's been a sort of change of perspective for yourself or like how you've been finding it.
Oh my goodness. It did. I was affected by it as well as a dental hygienist,
Yeah.
as the person that flosses teeth.
Right.
Yeah. So when COVID hit back in March, kind of a backstory, because I have to kind of go back in order to put everybody in my current perspective. But when I had my daughter almost 10 years ago, I actually quit my job. I went on my maternity leave,
Mm.
and I went in for the 2 weeks and came back, and I never went back home. I mean, went back to work for almost up until 8 years, right? And during that time, I was able to develop so much of myself, as a mom. Like, now what am I going to do with income? I was kind of like people with COVID. My job was stripped away from me. So I'm like, what am I going to do to bring that supplemental income into the home, so that I can be good, be create and have money to contribute to the family. My husband, he still worked full time. He still does now. And he said, hey, I'm willing to take the bull by the horn and grind this thing out so that you can be there for our daughter. So that left me with the sense of a lot of purpose. Like, I was like, man, this is giving me the opportunity not only to be a mom, but also to really see what I can do with entrepreneurship. So then I dabbled in a home-based business and did phenomenally well with that, but it almost still kept me empty because I knew there was a trail that I wanted to blaze
Okay.
of my own. I didn't want to keep, putting money, building somebody else's dream. I wanted to start really investing in myself to see, how much of a leap I could really take and ride it. And so that's when I was like, well, what do I love, really, really love doing? I was like, I love life coaching. Like, why don't I just continue doing that? And that's when I started showing up live on Facebook and all of the other places I could show up live, and start really pouring into people the personal development side of business. And the rest was really, it all start clicking and falling into place. Now, after a while, I started missing my career. I really did. I started miss being a dental hygienist because it brought a sense of purpose. I know it's like, why would you want to go back to work?
Yeah.
I know. But I said, if I could do it at in where it still work with my current state of life, I will do it. So I only do about 8 hours a week. I go in the evening, so it interferes with nothing else. And I'm able to just go and I'm at a children's dental hospital. I'm at a hospital with dentistry and with kids, and I like it. I have no problem with that. But when COVID hit, I was furloughed. They were like, hey, you all need to leave, and it was because we were like the first. So we could contract this COVID first.
Yeah.
And again, that brought me back to what do I need to do? Now that I'm not doing this, what do I need to do? So I offered free coaching for a month for people. And like I said, it was a service that I offered because of COVID to help a lot of people. And I was doing this group coaching, and man, like the things that were birthed out of that Oh my gosh. Like I have people who were in dentistry, they now have their own businesses. I have a young lady who, was working for the state, and she was taking care of like the resume part of it. She now has her own resume business and she's doing it full time. So, the things that were able to be birthed out of that and the success stories, it made me think, wow, I was meant to do it. So it brought a sense of joy to my life, knowing that I could be of service to people that needed me at the time. But yeah,
Oh, I hear
that's
that.
where I
I hear
am.
that. Yeah, no, like this is the thing. One of the things I'm curious about, like, because you say, yeah, you went, okay, you like you took your first step into a sort of, it wasn't your own business, but it was something you could do at home. So it was kind of like
Yep.
an independent business. What was that business? Just out of
Hmm.
interest sake.
It was Avon.
Ah, it was
It
Avon.
was Avon. And the odd story, it's so crazy how that came around. It was a book at my husband's job, and he said, like, it was literally 2 weeks from the day I had walked off of my job. He was like, hey, have you tried this? And I'm like, no. And I mean, I have to tell it, it's so embarrassing, but I have to tell people how I got involved in it because it was a business that I've known about. I mean, we all know about Avon. Who doesn't? Your parents had it, and my dad loved the deodorant. My mom loved the perfume and all of the lipstick and all that. So we used to play in it a lot when we were kids, right?
Hmm.
So after I had my daughter, I mean, this is kind of weird and embarrassed. I could not find a deodorant, like my pH change. I couldn't find a deodorant that really worked for me. So I was like, well, let me try their deodorant first before I even think about selling this product. So I started using the deodorant and it really changed my life.
Oh,
And that was my thing. I was selling deodorant by the cases to people because this was the one product I believed in, I had first, and I just kept selling it. And that it wasn't just the deodorant. I say people, I worked my way up to a top seller selling deodorants. But really, that was my starter. It was a deodorant. I believed in it and I told everybody else, and they were like, really? I'm like, yeah. So I started getting people and merchants who were selling it in stores. And it just really kicked my business. And the people that I was selling to, they were selling in bulk, or the people I started recruiting were bulk buyers. So they were buying the deodorants and selling them to stores too. So it just, yeah, that's hard, but that's what it was. It started there,
yeah,
and
like
it put money in our pocket for many, many years.
no, because
Yeah.
this is the thing. Like, okay, when like my mother was an Avon lady back in the day when like look, I don't even know when Avon came over into the UK. It's like, yeah, look, all I know is like, yeah, I was dragged along to the sort of big Avon meetings. I was like the only kid there, so I was like, yeah, running around just like doing my kids' things. And like, yeah, one of the memories I have is like, yeah, when I caught the attention of literally everyone in this room, just like, ah, it's like, yeah. But like, what I think people don't realize is like, I see Avon and stuff like that as a sort of stepping stone. It's sort of to open up sort of avenues for like people to like go, okay, okay, I'm selling this product. Yeah. Um, what do I need to do? Oh, I can do this, that. Oh, this strategy comes into play, and that strategy comes into play. And like basically, before you know it, you're like, okay, right, bam. I'm I am curious why it was like, yeah, you got there, you're doing successful, getting onto bulk, like out there to bulk buyers, but you were like, yeah, no, this isn't for me. Was it just down to the limitations of what Avon could give you at the time, or did you like go like you mentioned, you went, yeah, there was something greater out there for you.
Yeah, good question. Really good question, because the shift really took place when, I could no longer do the door-to-door thing. I mean, I couldn't, you know, um, And when it comes to the digital part of it, the company was really so late in getting us online,
Mm,
that we were so far behind. And then it became the vision. People were thinking, oh, this is an old company. It's using outdated marketing, so how can you be the breakthrough? So what I started doing though is I started shifting my business to where I wanted online people. I wanted to do the online thing. And I started selling stuff online. Like I would make the YouTube videos. I entered into a contest, for makeup, and I won like makeup for a whole year from Avon. And but again, it was just like, man, the commission was still a little low. Like the middleman, it was the middleman issue to me,
yeah.
because I'm out here doing all of this work and all of the building, and I'm only getting like 40% of what I'm selling. And I started to see that my time was not being as maximized as possible. I homeschool my daughter. My daughter's never been to school. And I had to really think, what can I start doing that will take me the least amount of time, get me a better gain,
Mm.
but also I won't lose the time that I have to be a teacher and a mom, a wife, and still, be. I just didn't want to give it any more, too much more of my time. It was taking
Yeah.
a lot of my time. And so what I did, I took all of the skills that I learned, from doing things online, and I really started teaching other people
Mm.
and how to build their business. And that's how it became where my other gifts, that I didn't know was I was so gifted in really planning, helping people strategically make a plan for their business and how to execute it step by step. So once I start marrying these two things, where it came to a life coach, where I can help you get your vision and your clarity and what you're doing, but then I also can create a plan and show you how to execute that plan. I was like, oh.
Like, Eureka! Yeah, yeah, it's like, yes, this is.
was like, oh, I got it now. I got it now. I can see how, really helping build somebody else's dream, whether you're on a job, you're at a work, you are still doing something that is so, it comes so natural to you, that you love doing, that you just really don't think about, that now you can go out here and show other people how to do that thing. And I started showing other people, and it was like, okay, this is it, Tequila.
Well, you know what? Like as they say, a shot of tequila. Well, all good things come from that. Yeah, there you go. Like, yeah.
Yes.
Like this is the thing. Like with regards to doing like the strategy, like for
Mhm,
any sort of new business, like it's like getting that plan together and like doing that for like helping people do that. And like, do you sort of put in sort of like little markers where they've got to have their sort of execution points? Because
mhm,
like, there's one thing you've got a plan, but like the whole thing is if you're not doing, you're not
mhm.
going to be, that plan is useless. Like so like,
It's so
yeah,
useless.
so when you do,
It's accountability.
yeah.
It's accountability. One thing that most new business owners or entrepreneurs lack, two things: clarity and systems. They kind of know what they want to do, but they don't know how to do it.
Mm,
So um a a lady 4 years ago, she's my friend. She's my friend from college. We started college together and we had a work study program together. She became an optometrist. And after owning her own practice, right, she said, Tequila, I think I'm gonna start me a network marketing company. I was like, oh my gosh, that's brilliant. Where I'm selling frames and glasses to people, outside of my job. I'm gonna recruit people. I'm gonna do this. I had no doubt that she was gonna do it, right?
mm,
So I was like, okay, let me know when you need me, right? She went out, she got all of the stuff, went trainings, I mean, met with all the people. Then she came to me and she said, okay, I got everything I need. Now I need you to show me how to execute this. We set her up a social media marketing plan. I joined her company just so that I can get an idea of how it's functioning, how it works, holding, I helped her with hosting the parties, all of those good things, right? And she knew that I wasn't going to last long because it was for me to be there for her.
Yeah.
She to date to date she posted a picture on Facebook of her new Mercedes that she was able to buy because of her business. So that brings me back to saying it's a person's you are accountable for your actions.
Mm.
With me, I'm going to push you. I'm going to say, you got this, girl, or, pat on your back. Well done. No, do this instead of that. But I cannot make a person be successful. You have to want it for yourself. She wanted it for herself. So she went out there and she started doing all of the things before she pulled me into her business.
Mm.
All of the things we talked about at this meeting, you know, it took her 2 years to do them. But when she came back in those 2 years, she said, now I'm ready for you because I'm ready to execute it into the market. And it happened. And she's doing phenomenally well with it.
Mm.
Really good.
Yeah. No, that's a fantastic story. And look, this is the thing. With all the practice she put into place, and like basically she built up like systems in place before like actually going through the whole sort of execution side. Like what I often see with people, they there's like it's a case of they come up with a plan, they don't have either systems in place. And one of the things I think is a major problem to really sort of get that sort of growth and get things going, they don't actually build a team. Like, because it's like, right, to obtain greatness, to attain success, no one does it by themselves. And I think people often lose that in the mix because they get, okay, I've got the plan. They get the system, but the team, that sort of like, yeah, I have a certain set of skills, which I bring to the table. And like, yeah, but they are missing something, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like we are a body. We can be the main part of it, but
Mm.
we need arms, we need legs, we need all of these functioning parts. I like to sometimes tell people like, you know, Jesus didn't do it alone.
Right.
Like there was 12 other people.
Mm.
Yeah, he was like the CEO, but he did not do it alone. He had all of these other people that were part of his camp that helped him bring, the truth to light. So it's no different for us. We have to have a team. Even if you hire out someone that specifically deal with, maybe once a month to do this certain task, you have to do it.
Mm.
You have to do it. In the heart of COVID, my sister and I started a business where we sell sea moss, right? You probably heard of sea moss. Have you heard of sea moss? It's an algae that comes from like the ocean,
Oh,
and it's really good.
oh, like sea and like moss. Yeah.
Moss.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Like
yes.
seaweed and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So we started that business and we did it. It was based off of I've been taking it for almost a year, and I'm like, hey, COVID is here. Let me help people build this immune system because I know how good it is.
Mm.
So, I asked a friend was like, no, I don't think that's for me. So I asked my sister and she was like, let's go. I mean, no joke. We went from in the day we started, from 0 to 30 days, we made over $5,000 selling the sea moss. And I said, whoa, this was huge. This was a big growth in that 30 days.
Yeah.
Let's hire an accountant so she can manage our money. That was the first person we hired.
Mm-hmm.
I said, because that's one thing I don't want to deal with. money.
Well, you do want to deal with
I
it, but you
do.
don't want to manage it. Well, you want to
Oh,
manage it in your own way. It's like it's like
absolutely.
it's like
That's it.
it's like yeah, you made this money. How much do I owe the government? You owe this much money. How much do I owe you? Yeah, you owe me this much money. And what do I get? Sorry. Oh,
Absolutely.
what does my sister get? Okay, she gets that much, right? And what do I get? Thank you. I'm happy now. It's like,
That's all. That's it. But all that IRS stuff, I said we have to hire somebody because we can't do that part. I
mm.
can't do the numbers and work the business and try to build I mean, serial entrepreneur at its finest. Seriously. Like,
No, like this is the thing. I would say this, like one of the hardest things when I would say it comes down to any sort of enterprise, if you're starting it up, like yeah, you got the system in place, you've got the plan, like yeah, you built your team, you're going like yeah, you got your home and everything like this. But there's only so much energy and time you've got in a day. Because like you think about, okay, you've got to take like, especially if you're starting out, you got to put on many different hats, and then basically like yeah, in your case like you're homeschooling your child, and like that's like okay, that is a lot of freaking work. And look, I think there's many a parent who like can like testify and go yeah, get my kid to school, I need those, like I need that time to myself. But yeah, but just the time and energy, there's so much time. How do you kind of like, you know what I mean, juggle all of those things? Because I don't like, how many businesses have you started, say?
I know, right? Ooh, okay. So I have the CMOS.
Yeah,
My husband and I, we jointly have a janitorial business that we have had for almost 15 years or so.
yeah,
Um, and I have my coaching consulting business. And I want to say that's it because I had to do away with my Avon business in order for me to really focus on all the other things.
yeah.
And I pretty much stopped that during COVID. You know, once I started to see Moss and I saw how lucrative the
Mm,
business was. So
oh,
right now, I only have three. I have three businesses that I function,
it's a,
and we have for the cleaning business it's pretty well balanced, you know, because we have a person that works with us, so
yeah,
that's pretty well balanced. And considerably this is okay. So how do I manage it?
yeah,
It's more of a flow thing, rather than a control thing, because if you really try to control a lot of things, even though I have my schedules, like okay, I know I have to do this every single day,
mm,
it's waking up, you know, and truly I get out of bed early and I spend an hour to myself to really think about these are the five things I know I have to do today. Like, you know, today, you know, I know I had to talk to you. I knew I had to make sure that I have to still school my daughter.
yep,
That's fine. You know, and I have a networking event. So I know I have these things I need to do, and I make sure I focus on those things that are most important. Check my schedule. If I have a client, I make sure. I mean, the preparation and planning that I do during my power hour works.
ah, yeah.
It, yeah.
No, no, please continue. Like, yeah, like your power hour. It's like, yes, because
Yeah. And that's something that I have to teach that, because I think a lot of people think, you know, how can I really work my job and work my business at the same time? But I've always had some sort of business while I worked, whether it was a full-time job or not. I've always had a business since college. I have.
so like you've always like been a entrepreneur in the heart of it from all the way from college up until present day. And yeah, like look, doing your power hour where you sort of get your mind together for the day, and then basically like once you've done that, going through your agenda and like getting everything organized, like hey, speaking to fabulous people like myself, I've got to really I've got to tune into that thing called modesty one day, and teaching your child, and like, yeah, I'm doing a networking event later today. I imagine over Zoom. I don't think it's going to be a case of everyone piles around someone's house, like wait for that person to cough. No, it's like no, get out.
You know what? It's actually through Clubhouse. You've
Okay.
heard of Clubhouse, right?
I have heard of Clubhouse, and like this is the thing, because I have, where is my phone? I have a Samsung phone. Yeah, like I have been like out of that sort of Clubhouse circuit. So there's part of me which has got that sort of fear of missing out on Clubhouse. But like this is the
Mm.
thing, like Lillian who introduced us, like both, like she was like, yeah, you on Clubhouse? I was like, she would send me an invitation and everything. Was like, okay, like Android.
Oh,
So it's like, yeah. So I'm intrigued by it, and like, yes, I might be getting a Apple phone sometime in the near future. But I think the sort of first, like the second or third wave rush, which is on right now, I'm mostly going to miss out on that. So yeah. Yeah, so you're doing on Clubhouse. So,
find your groove. Yeah, I think you will find your groove. And if you have an iPad, I've heard that works too.
ah,
But I think that you would dip right in there because you already have some connections, I'm sure, with Lily, and she's an amazing woman.
yeah.
You know, I'm sure that she will get you connected, and get you on the right track.
Yes, no, all I've got to simply say is like, yeah, that woman is responsible for my addiction to a stupid anime cartoon, which I love to pieces. Like, it's like, like, yeah, she was like, oh yeah, Seven Deadly Sins. I was like, okay. I watched the first episode. I was like, that's not bad at all. Then, like, yeah, I blinked, and I don't know what happened to about 4 hours of my day. But yeah, that woman has like infected me with that damn cartoon. I can't get away from it. Like, Lillian, you're gonna have to pay for this sometime in the future. I swear to God. And now I'm looking forward to the new season, which is coming
Oh
out
my
in April. You see, that's how bad it is on Netflix.
Creative though. It's like child's play. It keeps us creative. We got to stay in our childlike play so that we can stay creative, right?
Yeah, yes, yes. It's helped keep me creative and maybe give me a addiction I didn't know I needed in my life. But still, it's like, yeah. So,
Oh, that's funny.
like, you've got me going off on a mad tangent right now. But still, like, yeah, as I was saying, yeah. Getting all of your day organized and stuff like this, like the tools you use, like basically you mentioned like Clubhouse, like what other tools do you use to sort of help you get your day organized, get your day flowing, as you say?
Yeah, I know, right? So, I started using Trello a little bit more. Have you heard of Trello? It's like you can get these boards. You can kind of plan your day, move
Mm,
these little boards around, and it's a time management tool. It
right.
keeps me organized, so that I know, hey, this is what you're going to do today, or this is what you're going to post today. It kind of gets, or this is what you're going to send to your email list. So it keeps me organized in that sense of I'm not missing anything. I try to align my calendar. I know, I mean, people would think I'm too crazy because I have a handwritten calendar, I
Right.
have my Google calendar, and I also have my Trello calendar. But those things keep me in sync. If you have that hour to yourself in the morning, you can look at all of your calendars and say, this is how my day is going to flow.
Mm,
I believe in where there is no vision, there is no success. Like if you don't see what you're going to do, if you don't have those parts and those pieces, you're not going to make cash. Our cash is our calendar. Our calendar is our cash cow, right? It
mm,
makes us money. And when you are really, your income is based off of what you do on yourself as an entrepreneur, because most entrepreneurs think, oh, I got all this time. Now that I don't have a job, I have this time. But you see, you can dig into the animes for 4 hours.
Hey, don't you judge me. Don't you judge me. Don't you judge me. Um, that's it. I'm off.
Come back, sit down, sit down.
Yeah. It's like, look, look, it was during the first lockdown in the UK. Like everyone had time then. Yeah.
And that's, oh well, yeah, you're right. Yeah, when it was a shutdown, yes, everybody was Netflix out, but it keeps you, those things just keep me in the flow. That keeps me in the flow, knowing that I know what my day is already set up. I know what I need to do as far as my social media or my marketing or my branding for that day or that week. And I just stick to it.
Mm. Yeah.
I stick to it.
As the
Things happen though. We know things do
oh,
happen to really, but that's where flexibility and flow comes in. I just have to go with the flow.
okay. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Like it.
Mhm.
Because like this is the thing, as the old adage goes, we all get 24 hours in a day, like prince or pauper. And like when you like think about it, you go, right, yeah, there is 24 hours in a day. And like when you look at some people like manage that day to maximize their opportunities, not getting like in a tailspin in 4 hours of watching anime or whatnot. But like it comes down to effective
Yeah.
time management. And like
Mhm.
much of the stuff you're saying, to be able to run three businesses, like a household, and like basically school a child as well. It's like going,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
there is the flexibility. Uh,
Mhm.
that must be quite a difficult thing to find that sort of flexibility. Like, how much flex do you have in a day apart from the hour in
Mm,
the beginning?
not much, not much. And that's why I maximize my mornings.
Mm,
It's the time where I get my personal development in, I get my mental clarity happening, my motive. I inspire myself, of course, through, meditation and listening to something positive. So, I see when you can go into that and you can do all of those things, when your day starts to flow, it will go sometimes the way you planned or the way you vision, but sometimes it doesn't go that way. And it's like, it's okay, because we are given when a twist is put in our day, it was a purpose why that twist was put in our day, and we learn from it.
mm,
I just learn from it. I mean, it's never things like horrific things, but I'm just like, because if I dwell on it too much, then I carry that energy to the next thing, and I don't want to do that.
mm,
It's not worth it.
yeah.
It's
So,
not.
yeah. So, would you say you've got any sort of technique to sort of like be able to say shrug off, like when it's been a hard battle day, or like or to like if the day's been on a particular high and you kind of need to get that focus back on the next day? Is there sort of thing? What sort of things do you take? What sort of techniques or practices do you put into place with that?
Okay, because
Okay.
I find it funny, you
Ah,
know. So, and it's like, all honesty. Before I go to sleep, some nights, I have tea. I have a hottie toddy,
what?
hottie toddy.
Oh, it's like, what,
But
what are you talking about, tequila? What are you talking about? It's like, uh,
well,
uh,
I am
uh,
tequila, right?
well, yeah, and everyone
Oh
has a
my
story they
gosh,
can tell when they've had a shot or two of tequila. It's like,
right. Exactly. Yeah, that is like my wind down, and I love candles.
okay.
Candles. I got one right here. And it's lit because it brings a sense of calmness. And there's this thing, because you know when was it last year? or the year before last. I want to say it was the year before last, 2019. I got a counselor. I got a counselor. Why not? I think everybody should. We've all been through our shit, when we were younger. And we bring that baggage into all of our other stuff, right?
Mm.
So, and I'm not saying I came from a horrible parent. It was more of like me, middle child, self-sabotaging, just really a quiet person. I am the type, I'm a very introverted individual. Um, but I shine when it's time. I do. And I was dealing with some things mentally. And so I'm like, you know what? Let me get a therapist. It was like the best decision ever. And one of the things that I really have held on to all of this time, and I never have wavered from this, is when you're going into a new event, like before I spoke with you,
Mm.
you should take 60 seconds to see who you need to show up as in this next event. Who do I need to be? How do I need to show up in this place when I'm in this space with this individual? Because now we have a relationship. 95% of our lives, we are around people. We are, unless we're asleep or we're not, with a significant other, then we are around people most of the time. And it is those people that makes us who we are. They kind of reflect who we are. They kind of allow us to look into ourselves a little bit deeper. So I say that to say that's what I do. Before I come home, I before I leave, get out of my car from work and I come into my home, I say, who do I need to be before I get into this door? I'm no longer an employee. Now I'm a wife. Now I'm a mom. Before I go into a coaching call, who do I need to be? I need to be a good listener. I need to make sure that I'm there present. So it's all about being present. So I say that is, I have my little watch here that it reminds me to breathe. So it's those little techniques, making sure I breathe, making sure I do the segmental transitioning right, with my mindset, making sure I have my candle, make sure I have my little hottie toddy. Sorry, but you know, it's those things that really, like, they make me happy.
Oh, no,
It
no.
takes nothing to make me happy. It's people don't have to do a lot, but when I have those things that mean a lot to me, the
Yeah.
people in my life, I'm happy.
I'm liking that. Look, there's nothing wrong with a bit of happiness in one's life, as they say. Like, yeah, basically, yeah, it's a good thing. Like, this is the thing. Like, when you were started your like saying what you were saying, I thought you were a bit of like, do you like sort of reflect people's like sort of personalities when they come when you actually meet them? But it seems like you're more sort of, how can I say, you're actually mentally and sort of physically putting on that hat you need for that sort of moment in time, rather than sort of that's like going, okay, I've met this person, like I'm gonna reflect back. It's like, yes, no, I'm about to go in. Let me put on the hat I need for right now and go with that. Uh, it must be kind of like tricky at times if you have to like switch hats quickly, because you know how it is. Yeah, you know how it is. Like, you know.
Yeah. It could be tricky, but you know what? I'm learning that, like, when you take a deep breath
Mm,
and you roll with the punches, y- it's a wrap. Like, let it out and move forward. Yeah, because I've had to change those hats a lot, so quickly. Like, sometimes I roll up and my husband's like, because I let him know, hey, I'm on my way home because it's late outside, it's dark.
yeah.
So he comes and he greets me at the car. So it's like, here we go, and I transition. You can. I just I say this. You are in your position for a reason at work. You have you it's work. It's your work. You do the job there. You give people, what you need to give them for the time you give them. You come home, it's work.
Mm,
It's like your homework. You give them that work, that you give them what you need. When you have in your business right here, this is work. you give the person or people that time and that attention that they need. Because we're all important. I mean, everybody wants to be seen, everybody wants to be heard. Presence replaces can replace a lot of dysfunctional things in this life.
Mm,
Like, I think if we could learn how to be more present, which COVID did, it pushed people into that presence a whole lot. But I don't want people to lose that, because it was a beautiful thing. Maybe it was good for some people, it was bad for others. But if anything, I think COVID brought so much when it came to being present, because we had to slow down and really look at our life microscopically, and make some really hard decisions in that time. But I can't say it was a bad thing. I know that some people, my heart goes out to those people who went through it. I have family members who went through it.
mm,
Thank God a lot of them lived, but COVID wasn't a bad thing for me when it happened. It actually was a good thing,
mm.
because it did so much good for our family. It did.
Like, this is the thing when you say, yeah, being present, I think it's a case of like, okay, like as time, when you start out in life, everything sort of is given to you, like life and days are like a joy and everything like this. But as time
Yeah.
goes on, and like, yeah, I've expressed it, like, yeah, when you're in your teens, you've got like a large group of people around you, like, yeah, we are legion. Oh, then when you sort of hit your 20s, you still go like, yeah, we're still a little, yeah, we still are legion. Oh, but there's less people. When you get to your 30s, that drop off happens again, 40s and 50s,
Yeah.
60s. But like by the time you sort of hit your late 30s, in your 40s, you basically know these are my ride and die people. Like, yeah, it's a small unit crew. And and when you've lost friends and family along the way, yeah, you're present for that moment, for like, yeah, going, oh God, it's like I'm really sad I've lost that person in my life. And it's like going, and you're kind of there for about 2 weeks, and like you kind of, it's
Yeah.
drifting away. And you might get that sort of moment where you remember, and then like it hits you hard. But then as
Yeah.
time goes by, it hits you hard. It doesn't hit as hard, and it gets a little bit more faint. With with the realms of what happened with, like, yeah, pandemic 2020/2021, yeah, it did make people to be a little bit more present. And but I think it's a case of that presence. I think the knock-on effect was the perspective shift, and that's the thing. And like, if you were in a good mental place before, yeah, you would be in a
Mhm.
good mental place going forward. If you're in a bad mental place, you would go down a bad mental path. And like, this is the thing. Some people go, yeah, but if you were in a good mental place and you lost your job and stuff like this, yeah, as we were saying earlier, that sort of perspective change is a hard one. And like like if you're having to hold up that mirror to yourself, to your own soul, that's when it sometimes gets a little bit too real for some people. And yeah, it can be
Yeah.
difficult. And like, look, you must have already seen it with other clients you've had, what they're going through as well.
Yeah, you're right. And it hits you, but it makes you, so to speak. It hits you, but it makes you. It makes you do what? It makes you internally, but it also makes you say, wow, I can't, I have to give people their flowers. We've heard that saying, give people their flowers while they're alive. You
Mm,
have to. It pushes us to do that. It pushes you to give yourself those flowers. It allows you to say, like, what else do I need to do? Like, I can't not, my job can't be a legacy. I can't pass down my job to my daughter.
yeah,
We can't pass down a job, but what you can, right, but you can pass down, is a business. You can pass down wisdom. And what you have, what you're building yourself, you can pass down to your kids. I'm sure that they're learning. You're on like 120 something episodes. of your podcast. I'm sure that they've learned a great deal from you. You know, your wisdom, your wittiness, you can pass that down because then they have something sustainable that they can actually apply and it works for them.
Mm.
It works for them. We can pass down our skills. We can do that.
Yeah, no, like this is the
But you can't
thing.
pass down a child.
No, no, no. Like this is the thing. I think back in the day, they tried to do that system. Like, you know what I mean? Oh yeah, I worked in this factory, so one day you're gonna work in this factory. Blah 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 blah. What people don't realize, factory is industry and technology always changes. And like, if you work there for 30 years, doesn't mean that place is gonna be around for another 30 years. But like with regards to look, with regards
Yeah.
to sort of building something, with regards to legacy, with regards to longevity. Look, like all like the world could shift and change and all businesses go out of like business and like it's about finding new things out there. But I think when you like when your child sees the work you've put in and basically going, okay, you don't need to necessarily rely on the 9 to 5, and yeah, it won't be easy, but these are the lessons you can pick up on a day-to-day basis from starting your own business, and there is another way. I think that's a valuable thing for anybody to like know there are other options, because yeah, we've all been sort of 9 to 5ers for maybe for a little bit too long in some cases, but yeah, find that new way, that new path.
Yeah.
Mm, yeah. So,
Mhm. It's so true.
mm,
That we no longer live in that way, it shifted.
mm,
It shifted.
yeah, no, like, yes. I think it's, how can I put it? Like, I was speaking to a gentleman just the other day, uh, works for NASA, and he was worked for NASA for 35 years. And, like, you know what I mean? Like, it was like going, right, he was there in the sort of Silver Age, Challenger, like, went through the Challenger disaster and everything like this. And it was just like, oh my God. It's like you were in a place for 35 years. Look, admittedly, NASA is like something which you like go, that's like top of the tier, like type situation to be in. But it's still, if you went, yeah, I've known someone who's been in a company like for 35 years now, it's a rare thing. It would like I can't like you'll be like looking at someone who's like, I've been in the same company for about 5 years or 10 years and go, really? Wow. Especially in the
Yeah.
2000s
Mhm.
up to present day. Very rare, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And people suffer from a lot of burnout. Like after 35 years, hmm, that's hard. I think that's really hard to be somewhere full time for 35 years. I mean, it's the generational shift too,
Mm,
but I think, that it gives you not the 35 years, but once you've been somewhere for at least 5 years, you already know what you're good at.
yeah.
You can figure it out from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if there's a path to upward mobility, yes, absolutely. But if there isn't, mm, no, no. I have a question. Like, yes. What, like in your time of doing basically strategic business planning, now, what has been one of the more unique or weird businesses you had to do a strategic business plan for?
Mm. So
Oh,
I think I would say, hmm, okay, I think I found it.
oh,
A young lady last year hired me to do her accounting. She did accounting. She worked for H&R Block. Isn't that right? H&R? But it's like a tax company here that's really a franchise that's popular.
like,
So she said, yeah, so she said, "Hey, I want to do a my accounting for a cannabis business." Like, and I was like, "Oh, good idea. Like she found a niche within that sector, because everybody was selling cannabis. They were open to the states. Now we can sell it, but it has to be like on a medical basis. People can run their business, but you have to have like some special card. And I
Yep.
know we do like CBD oil and all of that stuff. She said, "Hey, I want to be an accountant for that." And I was like, "Oh, I love you." Just because that was like one of the most, and that stuck out. That was the first one I thought about. I mean, I thought about the lady with the eyewear because that was a plot twist. No one had been doing that. But
Mm.
also with her being an accountant, wanting to be an accountant for a sector that was huge, like it's a big money maker, it's a big deal. But now you stick out like a thumb because you're now going to be marketing only to those people. And people are going to flock to you to get them services because all they know is, I know I can sell it. But again, how can I manage my money and stay legal at the same time?
Mm.
It was her. It was her. And she's doing pretty good. uh, she's living good right now just by focusing on that one niche, and it's something when you're in business, because I know we think that we have to serve everybody and be everybody to all people,
Mm.
but you will find the people who gravitate towards you, and you will find that unique person or niche that you truly belong in. I know I had a lot of dental hygienists come to me during COVID, to say, "Hey, I need to, I need help. I need to build my business." So what I did was I started helping them, which created an ebook for dental hygienists. It's called Dental Hygiene Boss, and I teach them really the blueprint of getting clear on what you want to do, how to start your business online, and I give them some resources.
Mm.
So it's one of those things. It was like, aha, right, right. So I love it because I just feel that God positioned me in the most unique situation, for all of these years, and for people to really like say, tequila first. Like I'm in their mind when they want to get life coaching or they need to go out here and develop a plan, because that's what we want to do, right? We go out here and we build a business and we build our brand, and our goal really is to stick out in the mind of people who need us. So when people think of, man, I need somebody who can get out here and help me execute, I'm going to hire you. That's what you want people to do. And that's what it's been like.
Ah, out.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm happy.
oh, you know what? I'm glad. I'm glad you're happy. Yeah, like this is the thing. Like, yeah, cannabis, like, like being in your cloister, like the it's like, well, all I got to say is remember, toke toke pass. Like, yeah, that's the classic rules. Like, yeah. uh, so, yeah. So, if you were to start a new business like today, what business would you do? Would it be something in scented candles? Like, would you like, hey, like go into the old cannabis? Would you do a digital marketing agency? What would you do?
Mm, that's a good question. I really haven't thought about that, but it's a good question. Oh, and I'm a believer in like what is relevant now, like what's trending, like how can I maximize from what's trending now, right?
Yeah.
Right, right.
Okay.
So what I would do is, which I've kind of started dabbling into, but I need to figure out like all the things, is digital currency.
Ooh.
We know
Yeah.
that the world is shifting. We already know. We know that we're about to end up doing money the Bitcoin way, right? We just know. Look at everything else. School is now online, and most people want to do school online. Like most businesses are online because the person to person thing is now, becoming redundant. So the next thing that's going to go is the money, because our US dollar is crap. Like compared to the money out there, the US dollar is dying, so to speak. So being that it's always in the news, it's a trending thing. We see how much Bitcoin is now. We were introduced to Bitcoin years ago when it was 33 cents. Like, but we didn't take advantage.
Oh,
Crying face,
like,
crying face.
yeah, just like oh no, like oh god, I was speaking to what's her name? Uh, her family name's Pilgrim. She's heavily into Bitcoin. The reason why I remember Pilgrim is I was trying to convince her to have a child so it could be called Scott Pilgrim. So it's like, yeah, that's like, yeah, it's a boy, yeah. Let's call it Scott Pilgrim. Get a family member to change her name to Scott. But like, yeah, she's been in on like sort of crypto from like basically the last 10 years. When she graduated, she was like, I'm in the crypto realm. And like, yeah, she was talking about how like basically Bitcoin
Mhm.
is gonna most probably take over from gold as being that sort of like fixed thing. And this was like 2 years ago. No, no, 2 years ago, 2 months ago. And she was like, yeah. And so with everything which has gone on with sort of like Tesla buying into like yeah Bitcoin in a major way, and other companies jumping in, and now it being I have no idea where it's at. Maybe this is where it's going to ping you. Like yeah, say 45 to $50,000 a Bitcoin. So yeah, it's like yeah, yeah. Like the thing what makes me laugh about Bitcoin, what always cracks me up is when people like go, yeah, yeah, years ago I bought a pizza with a Bitcoin. Like she bought shoes with Bitcoin. It's like you like go, oh my god, do you know? It's like you kind of look at it and go, oh my god, you spent so much money on a pizza. It wasn't at the time, it wasn't there, but you know what I mean. It kind of churns the stomach in the way. I wasn't involved in Bitcoin, so yeah. So like Bitcoin, definitely an interesting thing. There are these non-fungible tokens which are going on around like that. I'm not like I look at these non-fungible tokens and the way they're sort of trading some of these non-fungible tokens. Like there is a story from
Mm.
Holland about tulips, and like tulips, like basically they were rare and scarce. So they like tulips got this sort of crazy valuation, more than gold at the time, and it was going up and up and up and up until one day everyone was like going, I've got a bunch of tulips and like wait, I can't really sell these on anymore. What's going on? And then it all sort of collapsed. Look, don't get me wrong, I look at those like non-fungible tokens and I kind of like look at them and go, yeah, I'm not too sure about you guys. Look, if you can use it, say, as it's like an exclusive membership for something, I can get
Mhm.
on board with that. Say if you like you go, yes, I'm a band or an artist, or like, you know, it gives you access to this. If someone sells on the token, yeah, I get 10% from the resale, you get whatever it is, if it's gone up in value or if it's popular. I can understand that side of it, but I can't understand when someone's like getting, you know, the a picture of the kitten throwing up a rainbow, and like they go, yeah, that is my thing. No, no, I can't. I don't get that.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So just got to be careful. That's the biggest thing,
Mm,
when we're investing into that. You got to be careful because everybody is now selling it.
yeah.
Yeah. So that will be my next idea.
Excellent, excellent. Oh, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. Yes, like I'll be looking out for Tequila Coin.
How
Yeah,
about you?
Tequila Coin coming out in the next like few months or so. Ooh, tequila. Ah, yes. Like,
You
yeah,
never know.
yeah. I have to ask. Tequila, your name. Who was like, you know what? I'm gonna name my kid Tequila. Was like, how did the name get chosen for you? Like, like, did you smile at the wrong time? Did you smile at the right time? What was it? What was it? How?
Wait a minute. Say it again. Say it
Tequila,
again.
your name. Like, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So I only learned the story when I was probably about 25, 26. I finally asked my parents, like, what's the deal? Like, I know who I am, but how did the name come about? Well, I found out, and I should have put the clues together. It was my father's favorite drink, right?
Okay.
Um, and one day they were in the liquor store. I know this is so cliche, but they were in the liquor store. My mom was 4 months. I was 4 months in utero, and they were picking up a bottle. And my mom said, "We should name our daughter Tequila," and that's it.
What? What? Your mom, your mom, like your mom. Okay, okay, look. I thought it was gonna be like your dad won a particular bet at that time, and like there was no way your mother could like get. It's like, no, we're not gonna call you Tequila. No, it was like your mom's like, yeah, Tequila. That's her name. That's her name. I was like, okay.
I know, and it's okay. And my father still has that bottle, that tiny bottle with the worm to this day.
Nice.
So it's like over 40 something years.
Well, like, did you say 20, like 20 something years? Okay,
Oh my gosh.
yeah. Mm. Oh, brilliant, brilliant.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah.
Like, like, I don't like one of the last few questions I'm gonna ask. Like, yeah, how do you think some of the challenges will be coming up over the sort of this year and next year for some of the people who want to sort of get into the realm of starting their own business? Or yeah, what do you think some of those challenges might be, you think?
You know, standing out. I think the biggest thing when it comes to that, you know, there are so many of the same things. Like what I do, that's nothing new. Like there's plenty of people doing what I do, you know, but it's how you do them. It's the person that you are. How do you stand out from a sea of all of these other people? What do you bring? What is the uniqueness that you bring into what you do? There's a ton of people who do podcasting, but you stand out. You understand? You stand out in your own rightfulness because it's you. So I think that is going to be the hardest thing for people to start doing. I can already see it on Clubhouse. I can see it on Instagram. I can see it on Facebook. I can see it on all of the social medias. How do I stand out from everybody else? It's you. It's what do you do, and how unique do you make this thing? How unique are your customers' experiences
Mm.
when it comes to you? And so yeah, people are going to be fighting for that, and it will all boil down to you making a name for yourself first. It's selling you, selling yourself, and then putting a product to that, because people buy into us. They don't buy into the product that we sell.
Yeah.
They buy into us. And it goes kind of back where I was selling Avon. I stepped into a company that had been, I think, 125 years old when I stepped into it. And I automatically thought, like, man, it's gonna be hard for me to sell this because everybody sell it. I know people who sell it. Like, how am I going to stick out? How am I going to be different? And it started becoming different because it was my story. It's how I got into it. My struggle with infertility and then getting pregnant with my daughter after many years of saying I couldn't, the doctor telling me I couldn't have kids, but me getting into this niche. Well, this not really a niche. I mean, it's a business where everybody was selling the same product, and me telling my story. But not only me telling my story, but they saw her, because where I was, whatever meeting happened, she was there.
Yeah.
Wherever I had to show up and have a, because they had me on this Avon filming commercial and all of that stuff, she was right there in the background, you know. So it all was based off of my story. It's, and this is not, I shouldn't put it on me, but it's your story that you bring, and the uniqueness of that story, you know, and how it can pierce the heart of people, and it makes them open their wallet. You know, that's what you want to do. So stories do really sell. They sell. You know, sell your story, sell yourself, and then people will be more open to buying the product or service that you have. Yeah, even if it's not unique. That's it. That's how you're going to break into being very unique. Yeah.
Liking that a lot. Ah, yes. I have to I have to reveal like a secret about myself, like which I've only revealed about something like 100 times or so. Like I am like a being of supreme cosmic power, and I have the ability to grant you one wish. And yes, before you even say anything, no world peace. I can't be doing that because too many people ask for it. I I can't be taking away COVID because look, I got Dolly Parton working on that. It took a lot of effort and call on the powers of that woman. Like I owe a lot of favors already. And look, I can't be having no wishes where like, yeah, you write it down on a piece of paper and go, I wish everything on this list will come true. No. It's like, yeah, what would your one
Wow.
wish be?
Mm, mm.
Oh,
That's
mischief.
crazy.
There's
Um,
mischief in that.
I mean, it's so, I mean, as crazy as it sounds, I still have this wish today. I when I started doing Avon, my goal was, yeah, to build a business that I could sustainably have money for, and to create an income that was going to keep me home with my daughter and be a contributor to my family. But it's always in the back of my head is, I want to retire my husband early. I do. I've been with my husband 21 years now, and I see the man that he is for our family, like the things that he's done, so that I can still work my little 8 hours at work. If I decide that I don't want to do anything in the business for the whole month, he still got me.
Mm.
He still got me. Like, okay, you wanted to rest? I got you. And that's the type of person he is. And I know for sure that he finds some ailment issues with where he works at, but his whole thing ever since I met him, he's like, it's about you. It's about our family. Nothing else really matters outside of this, and I can see that in the way he does operate in his life. So my one wish is to retire my husband early.
Fair enough. Okay. I'll get working
It's
on
it's
that.
selfless.
No
It's
problem.
selfless. I'm a selfless individual, and that is my desire, is to see my husband leave his job before his time.
Okay. Brilliant. Brilliant. I'll get working on that for you. Oh, it's like going, yep. Uh,
Yes.
get that charge on and making it happen. Yep. Like, watch out for the next, like, I'm gonna give it a year or so. Yeah, watch out for the next year or so. Yeah. Boom. Brilliant, brilliant. I've got to say this, like Tequila, it has been a pleasure
Yeah.
having you on today. You have been a superstar. Like, put it this way, like this is an experience with Tequila. I'm not going to wake up from and go, where am I? What am I doing? God help me. It's like, go. Uh, can you tell the lovely people out there how they can find you, how they can reach you, how they can get hold of you on the World Wide Webs?
Absolutely. A, you can Google me. You'll find me. Tequila Cousar, Cousar. You'll find me there. You'll find me tequilacouser.com. Any social platform that you go on, I stick with my brand. My name is Tequila Cousar. You will find me. Yeah.
Brilliant, brilliant. I will also put all of the details in the notes, the show notes, the description, so you can find this lovely lady. Yes, this is the type of tequila, yes, people should have in their lives, as well as the other tequila, as the old song goes, yes, tequila, it makes me happy. Tequila, it's like yeah. Ah, damn. I got to say thank you, Tequila, for coming on today. Brilliant, you superstar. I loving it.
Thank
Yes,
you.
no worries. And I'd like to say thank you to you, my friends, my life warriors out there. Please stay safe, stay well, be awesome, be excellent, be fantastic, be all the positive bees you can be in this world, and then some. Have a great day, guys. Yeah. Peace.
Peace.
Oh, and we are out.